all the AI stuff.
Here, where the AI
is a horizontal enabling layer.
AI can do all these things.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Great to have you. Let's dive right in. If you're ready to get started, as you can see, the title of today's session is Unlock Your Cybersecurity with AI exclusive live session. And what we're going to do today in today's call is we will dive right in and take a look at how you can use the most popular AI tools so that you can start taking advantage of all the opportunities. Okay. And most people, unfortunately, what I see in the marketplace, and I've been there a couple of years back, is many times people think AI is just like a hype. You can use a bunch of tools, maybe just ask ChatGPT and get some insight on something. Okay, can you summarize this document for me, etc. But unfortunately, what I can tell is it's a bit short-sighted because with the AI tools, you can do a lot more than that. There's a lot of opportunities in your career, in your business, as long as you know how to take advantage of that. And although it's a very short session, just 1 hour, we'll talk a lot about the most important tools, top tools that you can start taking advantage of right now and get started in a very strong way, in a very positive way. And that's exactly what we're going to cover. And if you're ready, let's dive right in and get started. I see Vincent and Jay already joined. That's great. And Harun as well. That's great. Let's make sure you're all here. We are recording. We are broadcasting the session live, by the way, on YouTube, on our YouTube channel called Cyber Transform, as well as directly on the Facebook, as well as our Zoom links. So that being said, let me quickly check in and share our content on Discord. By the way, if you haven't signed up for our Discord, please do so. We share daily tips and we make sure that you take advantage of the latest news in cyber, in AI, and all the career opportunities. And I dropped the link as well over there. And that being said, let's get started. So what exactly are we going to cover today? It's very important because there are essentially 6 key tools that you can start taking advantage of today, right away, without, even if, let's say, you don't know much about AI, even if you are just getting started, regardless of the case, you will be able to use, when you leave the session, take advantage of all the latest updates in AI, in cyber together in the next 50 to 60 minutes, okay? So that's what we're gonna do. And let me just pull up my slides and get started, okay? There we go. So, full screen. Feel free to introduce yourself in the chat and let me know if you have any questions so we make sure that we will cover everything, the AI tools, as well as the content that we'll go through today. And take a look at the chat. Hi, Chi, Daryl, geez, everyone, welcome. And there we go. Let's get started. So unlock your cybersecurity with AI exclusive live session. What exactly are we going to cover today? Let's dive right in. So first of all, please know this is an advantage. This is a tool set that you can use starting today to start or grow your career. And it's not just career. Maybe you want to start your own business in cyber. Maybe you want to start earning some extra cash. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,000, $10,000 or pounds, wherever that you are, you can do so with the help of AI tools. Okay, and especially maybe you are feeling overwhelmed right now. Okay, let's say you take a look at all the tools, developments, and everyone's talking about something. ChatGPT, Notebook LM, DeepSeek, this is happening, that's happening. Maybe you just want to take a step back and really understand what is happening right now in the world, right? And then it is not just like using the tools and just, okay, I'm done with the tools. Because let me tell you a story. A couple of months back, a couple of corporate clients and business organizations reached out to me to help them understand the AI landscape, especially from cybersecurity point of view, from risks point of view. AI will see a lot of socioeconomic changes if the trend continues like this. Meaning, if you know how to use these tools, you and maybe your company, maybe you already have a company, maybe the company that you're working for, you can take advantage and then you can accomplish a lot more in less time. And eventually, unfortunately, what happens is some people might lose their jobs because they are still producing the old-fashioned ways. They are still working and using the tools like Word, Excel in an old-fashioned way. Versus when you know how to use these AI tools in your cybersecurity career, then you can multiply, maybe triple, maybe times 10, times 5, times 20 more productive, and winners will keep winning in a bigger way. And if you don't adapt, then unfortunately, over the next few years, it's not going to happen tomorrow or next week and next month, but eventually that will happen and you might see yourself in a disadvantaged position. Okay. So it is critical, it's important. And in the next 60 minutes, we will cover 6 essential tools that you can start taking advantage of as soon as possible. ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, Perplexity, as well as Notebook LM and Gamma. And the thing is, I designed the session in a very practical way, meaning I will show you the tools, how you can use it, how to craft your prompts so that you can accomplish more in less time, meaning you can turn this into your career advantage. You can not only create your marketing materials, resume, CV, that's not the topic. We'll focus on the technical cybersecurity angle, but you can produce more. Let's say you're working with a client and you can produce results, reports, PowerPoint presentations in much less time. Think about that. And that's exactly what we're going to cover. And why would you want to stay until the end? Why? Because you will start using the tools immediately, immediate career impact. And you will learn how to work smarter, not just harder. Okay? Because if you know how to do the things in the right way, you can easily create the solutions in much less effort with a lot more impact. And then you can also use this to land higher paying roles, but even more than that. Let's say for promotion, maybe you want to start your own business. Maybe you are all around right now and you can save a lot of time and spend more time with your family if that's what you want, or maybe create better impact. It's not just about money. It is income, impact, independence at the same time in your career, in your business. And that's exactly what we're going to cover. And of course, available networking as well. Don't forget to introduce yourself in the chat. And also after the session, I will share our private exclusive network, our Discord channel, so that you can just join us. And then we share daily tips. And then we have different sessions as well that you can join just like this one, and you'll be the first to know. About your instructor, I'm a cybersecurity expert, about 15, 20 years of experience right now, with lots of different certifications, but that's not the point. But why you should listen to me right now in this call is I had the blessing and opportunity to work with more than 10 different government agencies over the past couple of months and had the opportunity to train a lot of senior professionals, more than 100, maybe 200. And I'm going to share the essence, exactly what I shared with them. And they paid a lot of money to join these sessions, those courses. And you'll do the same essentially for free. Of course, we don't have much time. We will cover the most important tools and tips, but that's exactly what we're going to cover. And that's me. And also, I had the opportunity and blessing to help a lot of professionals start or grow or scale their careers. And it's about the intersection of practical skills and your personal kind of roadmap. Because I believe it is very easy to learn what you should learn, meaning everybody can tell you something. You need to learn this, you need to learn that, all these AI tools, get different certifications, but it is not easy. It's not as easy to learn what kind of things, what kind of tools, solutions, technologies you should avoid. Okay. What to say no to. And that's where we shine because we will only focus on what you need today. Okay. That's what we're going to cover. And at the end of the session, if you join, we will share exclusive AI prompt guide and session recording as well in our community. So please make sure to join our Discord channel so that you will get the cheat sheet that we created in AI, okay, like the top commands and how to use prompt engineers, and also the session recording. Maybe you want to revisit the contents again, you will do exactly that. And that being said, let's dive in and let me restart my screen share because what we're going to do is we will cover exactly on the technical tools that I mentioned. Let me just take a look at the chat. Perfect. Great to have you. And let's dive in. Let's get started. So we're going to cover 6 different tools. Okay. I'm going to go through them one by one, and then you will understand like the specifics of these tools, of these solutions that you can start taking advantage of as soon as possible. Okay. That's what we're going to do. And perfect. So let me start my screen share. And we will start with ChatGPT, okay? And I'll show you how to use these tools, how to craft prompt engineers, how to craft different prompts to take advantage of these tools to the fullest, and we go from there. So let me share my screen. And full screen, share sound. Okay, perfect. Alrighty, so you can see me in the corner as well. So you know where I am and I can see you too. So that's great. So let's get started. What are we going to cover today? Number one, okay, ChatGPT. What do we mean by ChatGPT? What is this? So first things first is ChatGPT is an AI model that you can use and start taking advantage of that. And maybe I can make myself a bit smaller so that you can see the bigger section of the screen. I'll only share my screen so that you'll have a better experience. There we go. All right, cool thing. So number one, ChatGPT. Let's dive right in. What is this? So first of all, ChatGPT is how most people start their AI journey with, right? If you don't have an account, please do so. It's free to get started. And the beauty of ChatGPT is it is fast and you can not only get help and then use this in your cybersecurity career, but also almost for everything, okay? Like for your day-to-day tasks, like using in a way like Google, okay? Like Google. So think about that way. And let's get started. This is the layout. When you log in, you can ask anything here. You can take advantage of the microphone and then dictation modes as well. In today's version, we have the search, like online search activation, as well as reason that you can enable. And you can also use different tools like Canvas they have recently introduced. But coming back to the topic, what we're going to cover is how to use ChatGPT for, number one, automate report writing and vulnerability analysis to save hours of documentation time. Automate report writing and vulnerability analysis to save hours of documentation time. But of course, before you dive in, before we do any of that, you need to know how to use the prompts in the right way. If there is just one thing you want to remember from today's session, it is this. You need to remember three very simple questions. First of all, who, what, and how. If you remember these three, you can craft way better prompts, 80, 90, maybe 95% better. And it's very easy to remember. I know there are different models as well to craft prompts, but this works great, especially for beginners up to maybe intermediate level. What do we mean here? Number one, who? Here is what you need to type if you want to create reports or create summaries. You are a top tier cybersecurity consultant. You're a vulnerability analyst, manager, you name it, but just create a boundary, assign that persona. Because if you don't, the AI model behind ChatGPT, and there are models right now, GPT-4, Mini, they have different models, and the model will try to guess, and then sometimes it makes mistakes. That's not what we want. So that's why I want to be inclusively exclusive. Set the who and assign the persona first. And then what? So what is it that we want specifically? And then you can say something like, help me create a vulnerability management plan for a hybrid cloud environment with Amazon AWS and Microsoft Azure, for example. You can also say, help me create a vulnerability management plan for the documents, files attached that include a hybrid cloud environment. Like you can just feed the system with the data that you have. Or if you want generic information, you can also say, help me create a vulnerability management plan to include that in hybrid cloud environment, Amazon AWS and Microsoft Azure. That's the what part, what you want to do. Again, feel free to add links. Feel free to support with extra maybe files if you want to. And how part is setting the tonality, meaning include executive summary, prioritize vulnerabilities, remediation steps, and compliance considerations. Okay, include executive summary, prioritize vulnerabilities, remediation steps, and compliance considerations. Does it make sense, this part? And again, you can use this in so many different ways. One very important disclaimer though, you can use ChatGPT, you can use DeepSeek, you can use Gemini, and you can use a bunch of other tools, maybe Cloud from Anthropic. The idea is the same. Of course, they have different levels of authority. They have different levels of, let's say, power, maybe speed, maybe details. That's why understanding which models you should use is also important. But the important part here is to understand how these models and agents and AI systems work so that you can take advantage of this in your career, in your journey, okay? So you can activate search, and let's just send it in as an example and see what happens. This is a live session, so if you have any questions, just let me know in the chat, okay? Just let me know, hey, I mean, what about this? What about that? Or can you please try this? Or if you have any specific questions, like what about writing reports in a different language for specific use cases, you can also let me know. And because we have activated the web as well as the deep reasoning activation, that's why it takes slightly longer time and we get a detailed report with different references. In this plan, we establish a comprehensive vulnerability management approach tailored for a hybrid cloud environment spanning AWS and Azure. Executive summary, background, scope, goals, prioritize vulnerabilities, remediation steps, patch management. And I know you might be asking, okay, it's not detailed enough. You can just ask a follow-up question. Hey, man, it's cool, but in our organization, we are not allowed to use ChatGPT. And that's correct. Many times people, unfortunately, don't realize, but one of the major concerns for professionals, let's say you're working for a government organization, or maybe let's say you are working with a top tier private blue chip company. They don't just let you upload critical sensitive information to a random AI model, right? Think about that. It doesn't work that way. And then it's important to understand what can you use. And I know a lot of consultancy organizations right now, different companies, they have their own implementation. Some of them use Gemini, some of them use Copilot because, hey, they already have the Microsoft ecosystem. So they eliminate some of the sensitivity and then ethical risks around using or uploading information. Okay. So, but this is just one example, and you can just ask, this is good, but I want you to give me more details for each section, okay? And create the report in a way that I can use as a template, okay? For, I don't know, let's say a defense industry organization, whatever that might be. So this way, you can create some drafts, some template reports you can like use again and again to really save a lot of time. If you have vulnerabilities, you can just upload them if you are allowed to do so. And that's another question around GRC, governance, risk, and compliance, that you need to get the permissions, of course, from your organization first. But if you already have an AI tool model inside that you can use, you can take advantage of this. Okay. And this is where the future is heading towards. No more spending or wasting a lot of time. No more trying to collect the data, create templates, and then make it look perfect. You don't have to because it's here, right? And then executive summary, you see prior to vulnerabilities, AWS Inspector, Security Hub, risk scoring prioritization, misconfigurations. And because we have activated URLs, meaning web search, it also gives certain references to different websites, as you can see, cloud provider compliance tools, roles, responsibilities, and reporting. Okay. And let's say you want to create report on a fake vulnerability research document, or maybe you use a different capture the flag exercise, try hack me, or hack the box, like random tools, or maybe a different, even better complicated tools like Persipio maybe. In that case, you can literally identify the vulnerabilities and then just create the reports here, okay, using these tools. If you want to, let's say, practice this in a safe environment, there are different virtual machines you can use and download, and then you can extract the findings from that safe environment and then copy paste it to ChatGPT, okay? And for example, if you search for web vulnerabilities, list and examples in a lab environment, okay? I will show you how to use Perplexity for better AI-based resources. Then you can download certain tools and certain kind of like lab environments. OWASP has one, as well as different like learning environments. They also have that. You can literally just copy paste and then you can use it. You can use ChatGPT to create the environment. What vulnerability, list and examples, virtual machine. Okay, you can also search like this. Okay. But vulnerability lapses boxes, for example, we can get a list from here or top 10. OWASP is a good resource. PurpleSec team, but let's just come back to LinkedIn. By the way, if you're not connected on LinkedIn, just search for my name, and then let's stay connected, okay? And then BWAP is a good one, Cloud Codes, and this is a very famous one, Down Vulnerable Web App. You can just come here, right? Download, or from here. Seems like the link is expired, but if you search for Down Vulnerable Web Application or Web Services, then you can literally play and then create certain reports, okay? But the moral of the story is this. When you craft any report, any prompt, make sure to follow a certain structure so that you have consistent results. The structure that I like, especially for beginners and intermediate users, is who, what, and how structure, okay? So that's one. Let me know in the chat if you have any questions, and then we will move on with the Copilot, okay? Take a look at the chat. So Vincent asks, hey man, do you have any tips to remember what AI model to use for a specific project? Not for a specific project, but for specific needs. Meaning, let's say you want to analyze a report, and the report is 500 pages long. In that case, you need a much wider context window. Context window means AI models like ChatGPT here can remember because, hey, this was just one paragraph. Imagine that my prompt is 500 pages. Then you will find limitations. And please know, there are 3 levels of using AI tools, any AI tools. Number 1, free, and you don't even have to log in and register. That's the lowest tier. Number 2, you are logged in, but you are not paying. In that case, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, because at the end of the day, when you pay, you get much better exclusive access to different tools. If you are not paying for these tools, they will only give you certain like extent or like limitations. In fact, let me show you something. Let's create a new chat. What is your context window and your current model's name? Okay. I'm currently based on GPT-4 Turbo, which is a variant of GPT-4. My context window is 128,000 tokens. And this will expire as well because, hey, this is like a free version. I'm using another tool called POE. I can show you later that you can have access to a bunch of different tools from just one tool, one kind of like tool set. Okay, so it is not so much, Winston, about specific projects, but it's more like about specific needs. For data needs, for creative writing, you can visit Anthropic and then learn more. Let me just come here and show you. Okay, Anthropic, if you visit Anthropic, then you can try Cloud. And there are different models within Cloud as well. And it can provide much wider context window. Some of them really shines in data analysis, maybe in creative writing. So that really depends. And please take a look at the cheat sheet I will share, Vincent, a short little answer, because I have listed all the tools there, all the models there that you can use right away, okay? But that's a great question. So let's move on. Number 2, Copilot. So if you visit Copilot, let me just show you something first of all. This is the second tool. If you visit Copilot, okay, this is the website that you will see. Message Copilot, and then, hey, help me with, I need help with my cybersecurity projects. I don't know, something, I'm totally making this up right now. Sounds really, what kind of projects? It's like conversational, that's good, but that's not what I want to talk about. Because you can use the same, you can come back to ChatGPT and then ask the same prompt. Let's continue with this one. I don't disclose technical details, and every model is different, so some of them don't share what they have, at least in the free versions. However, if we come back to the previous question, and let's say same prompt, okay, Copilot, we can also filter with either quick response or think deeper to get like a variation of results. And then you'll find some random surface level results. And here's the challenge. A lot of people start using AI, but they don't pay much attention to prompts or crafting the prompts in the best possible way. That's why it's not working. It's not good enough. Good is the enemy of success and perfect. And the thing is, you want to accomplish a lot better success. You want to raise the bar a bit. Maybe not like 100% great that you spend hours and hours on crafting the prompts, but clearly this is not something that you would want either. Think about that. So where's the balance? The balance is crafting better reports with refinement, with providing more and more information. But with Copilot, that's not what I want to talk about. Because with Copilot, as promised, we'll focus on enhancing scripting skills, automate security tasks. How can you do it? And the solution is Microsoft 365 Copilot. And to use this, you will need an account. You can go to Microsoft and buy a family subscription, or you can simply go ahead and use your work account. Either way, when you come here, click on these three dots. You see the apps here. Click on more apps and then expand. And then you will see a bunch of apps here. And this is the list that you can take advantage, and specifically Power Automate is your answer. I'll talk about it in just a minute. But let me take a look at the follow-up questions for Vincent. Could masking sensitive information serve as an effective workaround for utilizing AI in corporate environment? This approach would protect confidential details. That's a great advice, and that's what I would like to say. However, as a cybersecurity professional, what I can tell is even if you don't share private sensitive information, it is still important to get the written permission from the hiring managers or line managers. You know why? Because maybe some of the tools, they might have inherent security issues. I'm talking about the applications, tools, executables inside our computers. Or maybe we are not even allowed to use any of them. And I know a lot of professionals just have different bypasses and they still use it. Although I believe that's a great idea and I recommended that too, but decision makers and data owners should make that decision, not end users or employees. That could be one of the solutions here. And let's move on. Power Automate. What do we mean here? So Power Automate, here we can use this tool set for productivity. Another one is like Power Apps, and there are different tools as well. Power Pages is also another one. You can create different kind of code, but let's get started with Power Automate because that's really powerful. And you see, we already have different templates. Let's come to templates. And then data collection, email, mobile. You can filter with the area that you want to focus on. Remote work, approval, and let's say security. You can search for certain templates for Azure Active Directory group members to specify CDS instance. If this is complicated, don't worry about it, because if you search for Defender, like Microsoft Defender, send me remediation request emails with Defender vulnerability management, okay? Or let's come back to create, and you can start with a Cloudflow, instant Cloudflow, describe to design it, and you can take advantage of AI to use AI tools, and that's the power. Let me come back to home, and here, let's say I want to use Microsoft Defender, right? Microsoft Defender. Send an email if a Windows Defender ATP alert is triggered. Every week, run a custom query in Windows Defender ATP and email the results. Send an email when a Windows Defender ATP alert is triggered. Think about that. Get an email, and you can generate, you can connect different tools, tool sets, and then make your life easier. Let me show you. Let's say that's what we want to do. Okay. When an alert is triggered in Microsoft Windows Defender ATP, then I would like to get a notification. And then you see trigger, when this happens, do this. That's the mindset. And with the AI tools, if the underlying structure supports it, you can save a lot of time and literally connect the dots in between. Yes, I know you can use tools like Zapier is a great one. Okay. Like this. Okay. You can create automations. Or another one is called N8N.io. Okay. You can create automations like SecOps. For example, on new issue, extract IPs and domains, run wires total scans, and then URL scan, merge reports, post results. And this is like an integration platform. That's good, but what if your organization does not support it? Think about that. In that case, the safest bet is to focus on what we have. Typically, organizations use either Google ecosystem or Microsoft as of today, right? Or maybe AWS as well, but it's not a full-fledged environment. They don't have like operating systems and whatnot. So let's continue. You can add more details with Copilot, okay? Like, hey, save the result to SharePoint, or maybe send it to my boss, however that you want to pitch it. But let's keep it in continue, and then sign into Microsoft Defender ATP, Office 365 users, Outlook, and then you create the connections, and then boom, you're off to a great start. Does that make sense, this part? Like, this is one of the tools. And again, there are different tools, like you can come to Power Pages and Power Apps as well. the idea is to, first of all, focus on what is it that you want? What is that we need here? Do you want to create a chatbot? You can do so. And it also saves a lot of time for internal clients. Maybe they want to report their security findings and vulnerabilities from a various standpoint, right? Go to security. This is like personal security. So it's not like AI automation, but you can also use Power Pages with AI, start from blank solutions. Let me show you around, and then we'll move on to Gemini unless you have questions. Power Apps Checker Base, contextual, import solutions, Power Platform, Power BI, Power Platform, Copilot Studio as well, which is great. And this will be the final example. In Copilot Studio, especially if you're coming from, let's say, a software background, right? Or maybe you want to script things, or maybe you're not a software programmer, software developer, but you know what? You're ready to create solutions. So in that case, what you can do is you can create agent. You can come here, you can focus on flows. Let's say create inclusivity, sustainability, weather, voice, benefits, financial insights, case management. This is like agent template you can choose from. If you search for security, if you have a template, you can find it there. If not, come to library under Copilot Studio, and then you can find different connectors with different platforms already included as like a third-party solution. Click on Security Defender, and this will just provide the list of different tools. And it seems like Microsoft does not have a security solution, or at least the name of a security solution. But you can come to create new agents, right? And then you can ask, hey, I'm an agent. What would you like me to do? You can say, hey, help me create an agent that my colleagues help me. You can also say, I'm a cybersecurity professional. Help me create an agent that my colleagues can report phishing emails or any other suspicious activity, right? Isn't this a cybersecurity task? Think about that. It is. And then it will help you create a workflow accordingly. Cybersecurity reporter, confirm if you like this idea. That's great. And then you can say, yes, let's move on. Okay, first, let's define what the agent should do. For example, should it only report phishing emails or should also handle other types of suspicious activities? Yes, all sorts of activities. In fact, can these agents collect data from endpoints to create alerts to support SOC teams? Okay. You can just ask what you want and then create maybe different reports, different agents, different solutions accordingly. Next is optional. Do you have any publicly accessible websites? No. If yes, you can do so. You can click yes, and then, hey, there you have it. You can have a chatbot. Okay, it's ready. Let's click create, and then you can feed the data supported so that you can create alerts or maybe create different triggers, send an email if a Windows Defender ATP is triggered, or maybe in every 24 hours, create a summary. General instructions. The agent should allow users to report all sorts of suspicious activities. The agent should collect data from endpoints to create alerts to support SOC teams. The agent should provide clear, concise, like whatever that you have identified, it's here. And then, of course, it takes more time. Like we don't have time that much right now, but you can connect the dots. You can support the system with the relevant feeds so that you'll have something fully automated. Okay. Does it make sense? Let me know if you have any questions, because if not, we will move on with the third tool that we have, which is Gemini. Okay. So Gemini is great. But first of all, let me just take a look at the channel and let me know if you're there, all good, happy. But you can also send me different ideas. Hey, man, can we do this? What about this? Just let me know because we have time to look into them. And now let's move on. The third bit, which is Gemini. And with Gemini, you can, first of all, let me show you something about Gemini, okay? What is your context window, okay? Context window, and the latest model that you run the queries with, okay? The beautiful thing about AI models is, let's say you make a typo, grammar mistake. It doesn't matter because it will understand. Of course, that doesn't mean that you should have like different typos or grammar mistakes all on the page. But you can like save a lot of time if the goal is to produce results as fast as possible. And this is like way better. And latest models, context windows, 1 million token. Okay. And right now, that's what we have. Because this is 2.5, 1 million token, which is really expensive. Like you can literally upload even books or different files. And then 1 hour video, 11 hours of audio, code base is over 30,000 lines, 700,000 words. Think about that. So that's the power. And Gemini is unique and different. And I like Gemini. And we use Gemini because, hey, we are on Google Workspace and it's really powerful. And let me create another chat and then give you an idea of this. Let's say what I want to do is analyze the root cause of a certain vulnerability. Okay. And this is the text. Analyze. By the way, when you paste something to the prompt sections, typically they will convert it into an image. If you don't want that, you can just paste it with all in on Mac, Command Shift V, or just copy the text to a Word document or text and then copy it again so that you can have just that like a text-based conversation. Analyze the root cause, CVEs, right? I will just go up, CVE this, and identify associated threats, threat actors, and mitigation strategies. Let's also click on deep search and set it in. After Gemini, we will focus on more practical, like unique solutions, unique examples of AI models and AI tools, okay? Like Notebook LM is really cool, Perplexity as well. And here's a research plan for that topic. If you need to update it, let me know. And then this is like the overall, how are we going to tackle this query? You can edit the plan, you can click on start research. Pro tip, let's say you want to grow your career. You can ask the same, hey, tell me the industries, the companies that I can focus on in my region and what kind of problems they might have. And how can I position myself in the best possible way? Of course, verification is needed, maybe through getting in touch with those companies, maybe through other experts and mentors, but it can save you a lot of time in your own career development journey. For technical skills point of view, yes, but it's a lot more than that. Okay. So right now, researching 24 websites. You see all like NIST, we know NIST, we know CISA. It's a shame. Like I recently noticed in the news that CISA is unfortunately going through some budget cuts. It's an amazing big environment because it supports the overall CV and the different MITRE vulnerability findings and reportings. Okay. Understanding vulnerability, next steps, deeper dive, key vulnerable details. It takes up time. And the solution, what's great is when it comes to Gemini, from research point of view, it works great, okay? Because it's very detailed, very structured. You can also turn this into a canvas that you can come back again and again. That's why like it's connected to somewhat connected to Notebook LM. I will show you in just a minute. So that you can create the, let's say, connections and have your own notebook environment, okay? Root cause uncovered, threat actors insights, finalizing research. How long would it take to go through YouTube videos to learn? Like you can literally skip that learning part because it will analyze this for you. Please know, by the way, I'm using the paid version of Microsoft. Free version of ChatGPT because I have a different tool instead of this one, right? And with Gemini, the paid version as well, because like we use Google ecosystem. So you don't actually have to go ahead and buy another subscription. If you're on, let's say Google, you can just upgrade it to Gemini and then you have it. If you're on Microsoft, you're using Outlook, you can also upgrade it, maybe buy a family subscription. There are different ways to take advantage. So again, like because we are in the game, we spend so much time and money to learn and then share the insights that we know with you. That's why we need to bite the bullet and do all this, but it's amazing. Let me just put it this way. Vincent asked, how do we know if AI is generating hallucinations? Or the honest answer is we don't know. Okay. But we can increase our chances to avoid all that. How can we do it? We can literally say, hey, do not hallucinate. Do not hallucinate in the prompt. And this will likely decrease the chances of hallucination because GPT, ChatGPT, we are talking about GPTs, right? That G means generative, okay? Generative per computer transformers. That's what it means. Generative means is The tools, these models are designed to generate. Imagine this. From one side, you want the tool to generate, but from other side, you don't want to hallucinate. If that's a priority for you, then we can do a number of things. First of all, invest in prompt engineering to get way better prompts. And then number two, analyzing the results in detail with verification. We can also do like, hey, make sure to share the resources from different Google or online resources so that we know the reference points. In fact, just ask you something. How do we know, how do we remember our names in our brains? Do we know that? Like which specific neurons or synapses? No, we don't know that. It's like similar because these models, they have LLMs, large language models, that mimic neural networks, deep learning. And with deep learning, AI models find the connections, create the connections, and the models, they don't even know, like, where do they retain the information? By design, it has to be that way because it's created automatically. These models learn by themselves. That's the power. So that's why specifically asking something to not hallucinate, like contradicts, because we need to also define what is hallucination, what is not, what is true, what is not. Okay. Funny story. One of their engineers for Apple reverse Apple engineer reverse AI prompt for mail. Let me see if I can find it. This one. Have you seen this one? Like this is how Apple uses. Okay. Like let me just zoom it over here. Open image in new tab. Even Apple, behind the scenes, Apple Intelligence, they say, right? But you see, this is like the prompt in their mail application. You are an assistant which helps the user respond to their mails. Who? Please draft a concise and natural reply based on the provided reply snippet. What? Please limit the answer within 50 words. How? Exactly the same method that we talked about, that I talked about. Do not hallucinate. Like literally mentioned, do not hallucinate. Do not make up factual information, hoping to avoid those hallucinations. And coming back to your question, okay? So let's move on. Gemini, because we have activated deep research, it takes some time, so it's still running, but clearly we will have a very detailed response here, okay? So that's the best part. And Notebook LM. Notebook LM is an amazing platform. Why? Because with Notebook LM, you can upload the information. Let's say you can upload your books, upload different information, like maybe even audio files, video files, YouTube links, and then it will create like a learning material for you. Let's say you want to learn the content from an entire YouTube channel. There are like 20 different very long YouTube videos. You can literally copy paste the videos here, and then the model will train itself to learn the details. Okay. In fact, let me show you something. Okay. Our channel. And let's come to videos. And then let's say, let me choose a detailed video. Okay. 38 minutes. One of the videos that we shared in a live session. Let's say you don't have the time to go through the entire content. You paste the URL here. You can also add different books or documents, or maybe let me also add my book, for example. How does that sound? I'm going to add my book, Cyber book PDF, and then I'll let the Notebook LM system to train itself so that you can just ask the question what you want and then learn. Okay. So let me show you how does that work. Just a second. So let me find my book and then compressed version to save some time, drag and drop. So I'm now training the system with the book and with the YouTube video that I feed the system with. I can upload up to 50 entry point files to train the model. Okay. Discrimination to your career superpower compressed. This one is still working. Okay. And when I click study guide or FAQ, it will create FAQ document, study guide, briefing document, timeline for me. Study guide, FAQ, briefing doc, timeline. And let me also click generate, and I will show you in just a minute something really cool. And I'm sure that you will love this. And now the first one is done. Let me come here. Quiz. According to Cyber Transform, which is the crucial first step in launching a cybersecurity career, even before focusing on technical skill resume building? Answer. The crucial step is defining your mission and goals, which involves identifying your why by exploring your financial vision, lifestyle. Ikigai principle that I talk about in the book, right? understanding your personality profile, and you name it, like there are a lot of content that you can use. And the second one, timeline of events. Okay. And then cast of characters, myself and other success stories and testimonies, like everyone's here. And then briefing documents, like a summary that you can learn. Or you can ask, hey, tell me the difference between passive job applications versus active methods, right? And then it will only find the content from the sources that you supported the system with, not a random information online, just the ones that you uploaded that you support the system with. And that's the beauty. Why? Because this way you can literally confine and set the limits, and it will be your personal notebook in a way. That's the best part. It will be your personal notebook, right? So imagine that you want to learn something. Instead of going through everything in detail, you can upload documents here, right? And ask the questions, and whatever that you want to know, boom, it's there, right? You don't have to go through all the details. Let me come back to Gemini, and now I have a very detailed report. You see, all the details, like very detailed and lots of different resources. And if you want to learn something in detail, let's say you're a consultant and you have identified a vulnerability in your client's environment. This is public information, not the client has that vulnerability, but the details of CVE, you can literally ask and send in the prompt. And yes, of course, you can improve the prompt as well by, hey, you are a cybersecurity researcher consultant, you're helping company XYZ, help me do this, create a detailed report, so on and so forth. Okay. But this is the report, and this is Notebook LM. And just check this out. I think you can hear myself because I'm sharing the sound too, but check this out. This is really cool. One of the best features of Notebook LM.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to jump into something pretty critical if you're looking at cybersecurity jobs, basically, how the whole hiring thing works.
Yeah, what really influences those decisions. We've got a couple of really interesting sources. There's the Cyber Transform Career Launcher book.
Right. And also a YouTube video, Cybersecurity Bias, Turn Discrimination into Your Career Superpower. Intriguing title.
Definitely. And our goal here really is to get you that knowledge you need, quick and deep, so you can navigate the cyber job market.
It converted the entire content into like an AI-generated podcast. Okay. And what's even more scary is I can join the conversation as if I'm living in this AI world and then I'm not like a real person. Let me show you.
Oh, wait. Someone wants to join. Hey, go for it.
Hey, it's great to listen to your podcast. I was wondering, what is the difference between active job methods, active job hunting methods versus passive job hunting methods?
Oh, that's a great question. Thanks for chiming in.
Yeah, we love when you do. Passive versus active job hunting is key.
Right. The book we were just talking about, Cyber Transform, actually has a really clear breakdown of this.
Oh, yeah, well, they talk about the 3 layers.
Exactly. So passive job hunting, that's where most people for their time, unfortunately.
Like just firing off resumes into the void.
Precisely.
How
The book
amazing
even
this
calls
is.
it
This is like
randomly
mind-blowing.
spraying their resume. You apply for jobs online.
It's amazing. In a way that you have your personal tutor, your coach, and then you can just ask anytime, anything that you want, right, Vincent? Like you can literally upload our, by the way, Vincent, you're part of our ecosystem, right? One of our clients. So you can literally upload the information here, create your notebook LM, and then just ask anything that you want, because that will be confined in like specific ideas that you want to learn, okay? Does it make sense? Okay, moving on. Final 2 tools. We have a lot to cover. Literally, I can talk about this for hours and hours, but time is limited. So let's just wrap up with 2 tools. The first one is Perplexity. Perplexity is, imagine combining AI research on Google with AI. Typically, AI models, unfortunately, don't work that well when you want to do some research online. And let's say you want to conduct deep research on emerging ransomware threats for the government sector in the US. This is the paid version that we use. You can choose the model. They have the Sonar, Cloud 3.7 Sonnet, GPT-401, Gemini 2.5 Grok XAI model, and some reasoning models as well. If you leave it to the default, then you'll get the best version and they will choose. And then you can also search on social like Reddit, and the search will go through and scan the prompts, the entries, and all the comments on Reddit too, and you'll get the answers. So let me just click on search, not the research. Research takes a bit more time. And let me send it in. And you can, let's say you want to identify the jobs that you can approach in your region, in your city, state, country. You can literally just ask, hey, what kind of companies are hiring right now in my location, so that you can just prioritize the needs, okay? And look at the chat. Jay has a question. Is there a table that outlines what AI tools are best for specific tasks? So yes, and I will share this. The short answer is yes, and I will share that as a cheat sheet in our Discord channel, Jay. So I can also send it to you. We can also send it as an email, but everyone will get that. The shortest answer to that question is going through a tool called Poe. Okay. So let me show you how does that work behind the scenes. Okay. So, okay, there we go. So Poe is my go-to app when I want to choose the best tools for certain applications. They're competitive. Like sometimes, many times you can ask the same question to many different agents and models, and you can get like relatively acceptable or similar answers. However, if you truly want to see the difference, come to Poe or any tool like this, and then take a look at the differences. Like for example, with this one, Poe is Cloudy 3.7 Sonnet. It says for maximum hybrid reasoning model, producing near instant responses or extended step-by-step thinking. If that's what I want, I can use this. Or let's say I want to use GPT-4, and it says OpenAI's flagship model, improved coding skills, long context, 1 million tokens, and improved instruction following. Supports native vision. Generally has more intelligence because, hey, maybe you want to focus on picture, image creation, or analysis, right? So that's why they are all different. Let me close this, save some time and bandwidth, because I see my picture's frozen right now. Let me know if you can see me, hear me okay. Just a second, let me restart. Okay, here, that's great. I think the picture is frozen. Okay, now we're back. So, Notebook LM, we covered this. Perplexity, we covered this. You can ask and then get the answers in an AI fashion, enabled with the AI tools. And to wrap up, the good thing about AI tools and Perplexity is over time, you'd want to go back to your previous prompts. And this is how you can do it. Like you can literally come to Spaces, come to library, and then find your previous prompts and entries. Okay, that saves a lot of time. Emerging ransomware threats, Ransom Hub, Black Suite, Ricida, Autocolor, nation state connections with references. So you can literally use this as a research tool. And let's say you want to present your ideas. This will be the final tool, and it's called Gamma. Gamma is great. Why? Because you can create different content, even websites, okay? And of course, we do what we preach. And the entire website that we created here for this particular event at gm.peakcyberinstitute.com. Guess what? We created this with Gamma. It literally took us like 5 minutes to create all this. And it's acceptable. It can be better, but many times isn't it what we want anyway? Like we want to create massive outputs in short amount of time. So Gammas, let me show you creating you with AI. So what would you like to create? Paste and text, notes, outline, existing content. Let's say I want to turn this, okay, perplexity result, like ransomware results, into a website or, I don't know, presentation, web page, documents. Let's say I want to create a web page. Click continue. I can also create a website or like the PowerPoint presentation, etc. And then it will create the content for me. I can change the layout, social document presentation, images. Do I want AI images, stock photos? I can just choose, okay? And then I can click continue and I can change the theme. Let's say I want to use this one or maybe this one because this is cyber. Let's choose something futuristic. I can click generate. We will wrap up in the next 2 minutes. It took slightly longer because hey, we have a lot of demos. When you have demos, you never know how long does it take, but we will wrap up the session in the next few minutes. Okay, generating. So literally think about this. Let's say you have a content and you want to turn it into a website or maybe a PowerPoint presentation. You can do so. So much so that Gamma app, let's come here. And Gamma is really fast. That's one of the great things about Gamma, right? Generates and help me create a cybersecurity risk mitigation plan for ransomware threats. Or let's say you want to start your business, all right? You can literally create different social marketing materials accordingly, whatever that you want to accomplish. Click generate outline. It will create outline for you. You can make it detailed if you want. Literally, you see, building ransomware risk mitigation plan. Let's say I want to use this one. I want to use detailed, and this time I want to have stock photos. Click generate. And the first version of Gamma is still generating because the content was like large, extended. And boom, there we go. If you're like me, you don't want to spend a lot of time on design or putting together a beautiful looking presentation. You can just save a lot of time. Okay. I'm not promoting any tool, by the way, because I know there are tools like Pop AI. I know, for example, there's like AI works with, but they are typically just wrappers. Like they don't work as well. Gamma is different. So far, it's one of the best that I know. And there are different tools as well. If you want to, you can also use PowerPoint though. For example, if you go to Microsoft PowerPoint with Copilot enabled, you can create slides, but honestly, they don't look as good like this one. So, I think this is a space that it will grow like consistently over the next like months and years. And you'll just keep getting amazing resources like this one. And this is the website. Emerging ransomware threats targeting US government sector, black suits, ransomware, Ricida. And if I want to publish, and that's the beautiful part, let's say I want to publish it to my website. Click here, and it's here. Let me just drop in the chat, right? If you click on that link, you'll see the website webpage on your end right now, live. Okay, and I can also create it, publish it on my own domain, right? Domains, I would have existing domain, like, for example, Peak Cyber Institute, or maybe, let's say, ransomware, okay? Or security training, peakcyberinstitute.com, and click Add Domain. If I click Automatic Setup, Gamma will immediately create a DNS subdomains on my website. Okay. And then I'll have it. That's it. It's very simple. Okay. And there we go. This is slightly off topic and detailed, maybe if you are new to our website, host names, DNS, and then publishing website, etc. in a nutshell. But it saves so much time. It saves so much time. That's the beauty of this. And you don't have to think that much. And right now it's like generating, authenticating. It might take a few minutes, but then this is the website. This is a PowerPoint version. And as you can guess, I also created my slides for today with this because, hey, it saves a lot of time. That's how I can focus on productivity, creating more results in less time instead of trying to pick the best color or like the font size. And isn't it what companies need? Think about that. Isn't it what you need right now in today's ecosystem? Creating better results in less time. That's the topic. Okay. And now secure training, Pixar is now configured. It takes typically a few minutes, although it says a few hours. Probably in the next few minutes, you will get it as proof. I can just share the link so you can literally take a look at it later. This is the website, security training, peakcyberinstitute.com. Okay. So it will be here in the next few minutes. So coming back to wrap up, again, like we can talk about these tools for hours and hours, but in a nutshell, we have covered a ton. And what we have covered, let me just pull my slides. We have covered why cybersecurity and AI, these two security solutions, like technologies, are so important, okay, to grow our careers because we can provide more value to the companies and we can literally position ourselves in a way better kind of way to attract higher paying salaries and create better income and impact and independence. And that's the goal. And to accomplish that, of course, it takes time and process. Like, because if you don't know how to use these tools, how can we even remotely offer any value? Like, it just doesn't work that way. So, if you're interested, make sure to invest, but even more so, just take a step back and understand, like, why are you interested in this? What makes you motivated? What's not right? What is not working for you right now? Is it maybe not having, let's say you want to increase your net income, you want to do more in less time, you want to create a better impact, like whatever that might be, please first of all identify that. And then see what you can learn, what you can grow, okay? How you can grow your career. And because you have attended the session and it's like slightly more than 1 hour right now, as a gift, as promised, we have, I know some of our members right now in the room, they're already part of our like ecosystem cyber transform members, but take the next steps. What you can do right now is a key takeaway. If you're new to me, new to our cyber transform domain under Peak Cybersecurity company, first of all, if you're interested in starting or growing your career in cybersecurity, right? Just jump in and get started with your free 6-day Cyber Career Accelerator training so you can see more about the domains, the options available for you. Okay. And what is the easiest way to get those opportunities? The domain is cybertransform.peakcybersecurity.com. Okay. This is it. Just click. And number two, join our Discord community. Join our Discord community so that you can share, ask, and then follow us and then receive daily tips. Okay. Get to know us more better and then also expand your network, which is, as it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. That's why maybe you're in the session right now. So this is the link, and we will share the link as well as a follow-up. In fact, to make it easier, let me also drop in the chat. So if you're on Zoom, you can simply click and then join us if you are not already in our Discord community. And then finally, let's say you're interested in growing your career. You want to get your first cybersecurity job, or maybe a better one. You want to get a promotion. If that's you, that's for career mastery. Let's talk about that, okay? No obligation, free call, book a call to learn more, like how do we work, what are the options. You can find a lot of information on our website anyway if you visit peakcyberinstitute.com. And also the second option is maybe you are interested in growing your net income. What does that mean? Maybe you want to work as a freelancer contractor. Maybe you are not ready to change your career, like full-time career, but you want to make an extra two, three, four, $5,000, $10,000 or pounds every month without leaving your current job. And the benefit is tax savings. Why? Because you'll be your own manager. You can save, you can take advantage of initiatives, manage your taxes yourself way better, and also start doing what you love. Maybe that can turn into a full-time passion, full-time interest. Okay, why not? Because at the end of the day, if something is not working, first of all, let's just identify what is not working. Maybe you aren't creating enough impact, income, or maybe independence. You don't have it and you want to have that. Whatever that might be, through career master programs for full-time career professionals, or you want to start one, or maybe you want to start your own business, part-time, full-time, and make extra cash for Business Academy, whatever that might be, it will be our pleasure to help you, support you. And many thanks for joining today. It was fantastic. And we will upload the recording as well. You can watch it again. And just let us know if you have any questions. It was a pleasure. And I look forward to seeing you very soon. All right. Have a great day ahead, everyone. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for your time. And I look forward to catching up with you as soon as possible. Bye-bye. Take care.